JOJO's Bizzare Adventure, one of the animes of all time. A thing only a few people know about is that part 5 is actually the best part. And another thing that even less people know about, JOJO no Kimyo na Boken Ogon no Kaze, or as I like to call it, the best PS2 game ever. And today, we're gonna play through this magnificent piece of software. We start off with a really long exposition dump that I really don't care about. Giorno inexplicably gets attacked by some guy cosplaying as a tomato, and in an act of pure self-defense, kills him. This causes everyone's favorite mother figure Bruno Mars to come pay Giorno a visit. The two share an intimate moment, which in turn ends in a combat tutorial. Basically, it's a fighting game with story cutscenes. The game shows you an abridged version of part 5 story, and then lets you fight the characters from the story in a gimmicky post-fight. Yes, every fight has a different gimmick, yes, it's very annoying, no, I'm not going to get help. After beating Bruno's ass, Bucciaratti realizes that Giorno, who already killed somebody before, is trying to kill him. Shocker, I know. With this revelation, he leaves the train. Next up we get a chase sequence where Bucciaratti enters a guy, and we must find him. For being made in 2002, this game is really progressive, I'm not gonna lie. Giorno then turns Bucciaratti's missing tooth into a fly, and just like in the manga, he beats the shit out of Bruno. Giorno gives his speech about hating drugs or something, and we move on to chapter 2. Now we move on to meet everyone's favorite slob tuber, Pyrosnickel.
How's it going, everyone? Flashbang here.
He gives us a lighter, which was used to burn his Discord account that we have to keep alight for 24 hours. Back at Giorno's school, Super Mario from the Mario RPG accidentally splashes Giorno with water, causing the lighter to be extinguished and Pyro's Discord account to get leaked. This causes Black Sabbath to appear and we have a fight with him. The gimmick here is that he's an avid Splatoon player who can melt into shadows and move around. There's also birds flying around, which causes Sabbath to hop into the bird shadow and attack Giorno with the most annoying QTE stun I've ever seen. The trick here is to bait him out into the sun where he gets damaged, and the fight was alright. With the test accomplished, Giorno gets to join the gang. Yippee. At the gang meeting, Giorno doesn't get served piss, which immediately drops the game score to just a 9 out of 10. Trish joins the gang, and Trish immediately wants some Givenchy stockings, so Narancia has to go out and get them, where he runs into the Cheese Man. This fight is really easy, but Cheese Man has some really strange dialogue. After beating Formaggio, he goes on a dialogue about how it's only going to get harder from here, which in retrospect, it was true. Man in the mirror fight. This is where I noticed that I am unfit to play video games. The gimmick here is that Fugo, Giorno, and Giorno Hater number 1 get pulled into the mirror world, and because it's a mirror world, your controls are mirrored, and this fight took me over an hour to complete. It's not something that I admit lightly, but why? Well, first of all, your stand is stuck in the real world, and the man in the mirror guy hops from reflective surface to reflective surface, throwing knives at you, or if you're unlucky, he initiates his stun attack, which takes like half of your health. Yeah. And you can only damage him in the real world with your stand. So you have to run away and dodge his attacks until he decides to switch from the mirror world to the real world, which took him 20 minutes for me. And I had to evade him with 1 HP left. Yep. But that's not all. Your stand sometimes just goes berserk and refuses to attack. So you get 1 punch in and then can't move and have to switch back and wait another 20 minutes and then do that again and again. And well, that would be the case if you're an idiot. Like me. Because you can just punch him in the fake world. Something that I did not realize until watching a playthrough after I already finished the mission. Anyways, with Illuso beaten to death, we move on to the Grateful Dead section where Mr. Grateful Dead and Fish Guy fill out the train on which Bucciaratti and friends were traveling with a deadly neurotoxin that causes everyone to become Facebook users. Bucciaratti comes to the rescue though and beats the shit out of both of them. Have you ever played Balloons Tower Defense? Me neither. We're now with Mista and Giorno on the way to receive a disc from the boss, but while driving, they get attacked by the funniest guy from the entire game. Here we have to play as Mista and shoot at Ghiaccio from the car. Have I mentioned this game uses some of the worst controls ever? After a long and arduous fight, we crash the car in water, swim ashore and battle Ghiaccio normally. We easily beat him and get treated to the best scene in gaming ever. We finally come to that scene. Bruno and Trish go to meet the boss. The boss has a firm handshake with Trish and abducts her to kill her. This is one of my favorite parts of the game, just because the boss's gimmick is so cool. In this portion, we don't beat him, we try to survive him. His stand here works in a way where he Dragon Ball teleports behind us and beats the shit out of us. Bruno gets donutted, we beat a fraction of his health and we escape with Trish. Now that we are enemies of the gang, Cheese Man pussies out and we leave without him to go fly to Sardinia. Sardines. On the plane, Giorno's arm gets cut off and a strange creature roams the passenger section. In said section, Trish finds a brochette that Giorno transformed into his arm, and we must pick it up. Simple, right? The thing scurrying around is attracted to movement and immediately attacks us if we as much as move a muscle. So we have to hit the recliner seats to distract it and get the brochette, yeah. Trish gets her stand and we beat the penis creature. This penis creature, in return, transforms into a hentai-wore tentacle monster and starts eating the plane. Here we have to survive for 2 minutes while keeping the thing away from making this video age restricted. After valiantly keeping the video from getting demonetized, the group lands at the Sardinia island, where they have to find the log info of the boss's old Roblox account to figure out what his real identity is. They find a dead Metallica fan, and Ghiaccio uses his stand to rewind time on a stone figure. While the gang is too busy examining Metallica guy, Ghiaccio gets fisted by none other than Lionel Messi. After retrieving his login info from Ghiaccio's final will and trying to log into his account, they get a message from a Roblox admin who deleted Diavolo's account 15 years ago. He reveals that he has a method of defeating the boss, but he can only show it to us if we meet him in Rome. Arriving in Rome, Bucciaratti and friends meet... I don't even have a joke, I'll just play the clip. Green tea's ability infects everything with mold that is above a certain level of elevation, so we as Mista have to run all the way up to the pier in a jump and run parkour type section where Sekio stunlocks us, and this took me longer than I'm willing to admit. After this riveting gameplay, which will be shamelessly copied by the Super Mario series some 20 years earlier, Green Tea escapes with a helicopter. Giorno, however, being an avid weed grower, shoots seeds into the side of a building, trapping Green Tea's helicopter. Giorno beats Green Tea, and we switch to Bucciaratti, having to battle a Splatoon player. The second one. After beating him, due to being a Splatoon player himself, a strange femboy appears, gets taken hostage, and immediately disposes of Sekio. Bucciaratti, now being nearly blind and having developed carpal tunnel syndrome, mistakes the femboy for Trish, due to them both wearing Givenchy No. 2 blush. He leads the femboy to the Coliseum, where none other than Jean-Pierre Polnareff from the JOJO Part 3 OVA awaits. But surprise, the fanboy is actually a stripper. I mean Diavolo, but look at this fight, it's so fucking funny. After nearly being defeated in the wheelchair race, Polnareff pulls out a stand arrow and pierces Silver Chariot to evolve it into Silver Chariot Requiem. Due to Polnareff being French, Silver Chariot disobeys him. And puts everyone to sleep, where they switch bodies. Now comes a sequence where you have to beat up Rogue Silver Chariot before it can leave, but the twist is that we have to fight our own stand, and I'm gonna admit it's pretty cool. We reach the arrow, Naranja dies, Giorno gets Golden Experience Requiem. Now we have the final boss fight of the game, Diavolo. His gimmick here is that he can slow down time for us, but he can move normally. The fight is cool. We beat Diavolo, he gets sent to the infinite death loop, roll credits. All in all, the game was pretty alright. I rated 7 Mista sloppy toppies out of 10.